Hello, in this video we're talking about Warfronts, but we're not talking about the Warfronts themselves. We're talking about everything leading up to the Warfronts and how you can take advantage of that to get better gear for your character, get cool collectibles, increase your reputation, and many other things. So, let's go ahead and get started. Leading up to the Warfronts, the way they work is you have a period of time where one faction is trying to contribute resources to go and take the war to the other side. And during that time period, you are either in the contributions phase or you're in the control phase. When you're in the contributions phase, you're on the side of the faction that's trying to contribute everything in order to be able to go out there and fight. When you're in the control phase, you're on the faction that currently controls what everyone is fighting over. In the case of this first Warfront, we're actually fighting over control of the Arathi Highlands. If you're not familiar with the Arathi Highlands, they are in the Eastern Kingdoms, a little southeast of Undercity and a little northeast of Ironforge. So right now, the big thing that everyone is fighting over is Stromgarde Keep. So, if you are in the control phase, your faction currently controls Stromgarde Keep. If you're in the contributions phase, then you are trying to build up enough resources to go and take Stromgarde Keep from the opposing faction. So the way this is going to work is one faction will be in the contributions phase. When they've contributed enough stuff, then both factions will be able to queue up for Warfronts, they'll fight through them, and after a period of time determined by Blizzard, that time where you can queue up for Warfronts will end, and the factions will swap positions. So whoever did the contribution leading up will now control Arathi Highlands and Stromgarde, and whoever controlled it before we were able to queue for Warfronts will now be in the contributions phase. So it's gonna be a back and forth. So 1 week or however long it is, you'll be contributing, then you'll be controlling, then you'll be contributing, then you'll be controlling, and it'll go back and forth like that over and over again. So what we're talking about is what you can do during the phase where one side is trying to contribute to build up so that we can queue for Warfronts. And that all really has to do mostly with what you can do in Arathi Highlands. But before we get there, let's talk about what you can do if you're in the contributions phase. So if you're in the contributions phase, you're trying to contribute your crafting materials or your crafted items to the war effort so that your faction can go and fight against the opposing faction. You do that either by contributing on the Horde side down here near the harbor of Zuldazar, or if you're on the Alliance side and it's your turn to make contributions, then your turn-in point is in Borealis, kind of right here in between the Tradewinds Market and Ashvane Docks. So you'll go there and you will have a war table. Your war table lets you track the progress of your faction. So right here you can see that the Horde has contributed 33% of the amount of resources and supplies needed to get to the point where we'll be able to queue up and actually do the Warfronts. So we still have 66% or 67% left until that's going to happen. So what do you do while you're waiting for this bar to fill up? Well, if you're in the contributions phase, you can contribute. If you come out here around your war table, you'll see all these NPCs with these blue exclamation points over their head. If you right click on them, then they're going to tell you, hey, you know, this guy says our riders need new stirrups before they're sent off to battle. Contribute 2 hardened stirrups. That will contribute towards the bar filling up, but also for each one of these contributions you do, you will get 150 reputation with your war faction, so 7th Legion for Alliance and the Honor Bound for Horde. You'll also get 500 artifact power, so you get a very hefty reward for doing these turn-ins. And there are usually, I think, 9 of them or so up, at least. So you have the opportunity to get, you know, 150 reputation and 500 artifact power 9 times every time you're in the contributions phase. So if you're not in the contributions phase, the cool thing is you control Arathi Basin, and what will happen is you can go out to Arathi Basin and you will actually have world quests out here that you can do, and you'll have some faction quests that you can complete as well. So those are the different things that you can do if you're in a specific phase. If you're in the contributions phase, you can make the contributions. If you're in the control phase, you can go do world quests. There's something special about being in the control phase, though. You have access to a world boss that is only there if you control Arathi Basin, or the Arathi Highlands. If you go and you kill that world boss, they have a chance to drop an item level 370 piece of gear. My wife has a max level Alliance character, and she went out and she was able to get the Lion's Pride, I believe is what it was called, and it's an item level 370 trinket. So definitely go out to Arathi Highlands and kill that world boss. I can almost guarantee you'll be able to find a group for it. When control switches to the Horde, they'll be able to go do world quests, and they'll be able to kill a world boss as well. And at that time, Alliance will be in the contributions phase, and they'll be able to come out and get their rep and get their artifact power by turning in resources. But there's something that you can do no matter whether you control Arathi Highlands or not, and that is go kill rares. So if you are in the control phase, you're going to have a portal trainer that is somewhere near your war table, and you could talk to them and they will teleport you to Arathi Highlands. If you're in the contributions phase, your portal trainer is going to tell you, hey, it's too dangerous to travel. The portal access will be restored once we've gained control of the Highlands. But you can always go back there yourself. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get out to Arathi Basin. Or sorry, I keep saying Basin. Arathi Highlands if you don't currently control Arathi Highlands. So to my knowledge, the quickest way to get to Arathi Highlands if you don't control Arathi Highlands and you can't take the portal there is to go to your capital city and to go to your Cataclysm Portals area. For Horde, that's going to be in Orgrimmar in the Valley of Wisdom. You can see this little layout here. And if you are on the Alliance side, then that's going to be in Stormwind. And that's going to be right over here on this little island in the lake. Go there and take the portal to the Twilight Highlands. This portal is going to put you pretty close to the Arathi Highlands. So if we take a look at the map here, you can see that I'm right here, and Arathi Highlands is right there. So you're just going to fly over to Arathi Highlands, and I'll see you when I get there. Okay, so we're here in Arathi Highlands, and what you're going to do once you get here, obviously if you're on the controlling side, you've got world quests to do. But even if you don't, if you're on the contribution side, you can come here and you can fly around and you can look for rares. The rares will show up as stars on your mini-map. You're going to find a lot of people fighting them. And the way the rares work is you can kill them one time per reset. Each time you kill them, that first time you kill the rare during the reset, it has a chance to drop something for you. This could be an item level 340 piece of gear. There are some that drop mounts, and there are some that drop pets, and some that drop toys as well. So it's worth going out to kill these rares simply for the chance to upgrade your gear. I went out and I killed all the rares yesterday, and I was able to get 2 pieces of gear that were item level 340, and I got 1 toy and 1 pet. And we're going to go through what the pets, toys, and mounts are that you can get towards the end of this video, and I'll also show off the ones that I got there as well. So when you come out here, what I recommend that you do, you can take a path around the outskirts of Arathi Highlands and then cut through the middle and kind of make sure that you have taken care of all the rares that are here. I will link to a map in the description below that will show you the exact location of every rare. Also, I'm going to have a video coming out. I live streamed the entire thing of me going around killing all the enemies, so you're welcome to watch that too if you're having trouble finding a particular rare. I'll see if I can timestamp those. If I have time, I'll put timestamps on that video as well. There are a special type of rares. Or there's a special type of rare out here that is called a Titan, I believe, or let me double check. A Goliath. Goliath. There are these elemental Goliaths out here. They're in these big circles of rocks, and they are much stronger than a regular rare. So most of the rares you should be able to solo or at least kill with one other person. The Goliaths, you want to have a good number of people there before you start taking them on. So they're out here where the elementals, the regular elementals, used to be before. And this one isn't spawned in, but they spawn in the middle of these big circles, and they're quite huge. So I recommend that you come out here, farm the rares, and what I mean by you can kill them once per reset is basically when the factions swap from control to contribution, you'll be able to kill all the rares again for a chance at some loot. So this is a good way to get some nice 340 item level gear for your character. It seems to be roughly about 2 pieces if you've got the average amount of luck that you can upgrade for here. And then also, like I said, just coming out here and, farming stuff for the pets and the toys and the mounts is really good as well. If you're on the Alliance side, this is actually the world boss, Doom's Howl. So this is the world boss you'll come out here and kill, and it's a similar machine for the Horde when they controlled Arathi Highlands. There'll be a big it's an Azerite war machine that you can come out here and kill. Okay, so now we're going to check out some of the things that you can get here that aren't just gear related. I'm not going to go over all the toys because there's no real way to kind of show off what the toys do. I am going to go over the one toy that I got, though, and that was the Covort costume. This turns you into an ogre. It lasts for 10 minutes, and you could do this every hour, so pretty cool toy. Makes me kind of wish we had ogres in the game as playable characters because they're big and beefy. So, yeah, so that's the toys. Next up, we're going to take a look at the different pets that you're able to get. So the first pet that you can get is a Sproutling. So it's the Aldrusian Sproutling. Just kind of looks like a tree. I don't know. Kind of boring to me. You can get Foul Feather, who is like a vulture. You can get Fosling. Pretty cool, like mountain giant looking guy. You can get a Fuzzy Creepling. Should be a spider. Quite a fuzzy one. Rage Peep is a white moonkin. Scabby, who is a quite a diseased-looking bear. Squawkling, which is the pet that I got. Apparently, I can't spell squawk. Why am I so bad at this? What? Oh. Man, I think I'm going to leave that in there just so you guys can see how long it took me to spell squawkling. So this is the Squawkling. It's like a two-headed bird. Man. Oh, God. And then you can get the Teeny Titan Orb. Pretty cool looking. And the Void Wiggler. And you'll get out here and you'll see... oh, cool. He's a little Void Walker. A lot of these match up really well to the rares that you have to kill, like the Diseased Bear. There's a big Diseased Bear as a rare spawn, so he probably drops the Diseased Bear pet. So the next thing we'll look at are the mounts that you can get. So you can get the Swift Swift albino rapper. Yeah. There's got to be like a blooper reel. You can get the swift albino raptor. So I don't know. It's not like a. It's kind of like a recolor. Doesn't look like it's had its graphics updated. Oh man. Skull Ripper is another raptor you can get here. Pretty cool to have a raptor that doesn't have a saddle on it. I like that. The Witherbark Direwing. It's a bat mount. You can get Lil Donkey. Nice pack mule kind of mount here. Some more horses with the Broken Highland Mustang. I believe this one is Horde only. Yeah. And then there's a Highland Mustang. Oh, it's not showing me because I am on a Horde character, but there is a Highland Mustang that is for Alliance as well. It looks kind of similar to this one, but not quite. So those are the mounts that you can get. Those are all the collectibles you can get from doing the content out here in Arathi Highlands. Also note that if you do have control of the Arathi Highlands, there are a series of quests that you can do that will reward you with war resources, azurite, and you get an equipment cache that will have a 340 piece of Warfront gear. The Warfront gear actually is a new transmog that you can collect, and they're all pretty decent looking, I think. So that's another thing worth coming out here and doing the content for. So this was my PSA. This is me telling you, hey, get out there, go do the content, go kill the rares out in Arathi Highlands. Get yourself some 340 gear, maybe some toys, mounts, pets, that kind of stuff, and get out here and have a fun time. Whenever we're able to queue up for the Warfronts, I'll do a guide for that as well. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.